Stephen King said, "If you want to be a writer, you must do two things above all others: read a lot and write a lot." The advice is straightforward and simple. A writer writes. You can spend all your time researching writing tips, habits, routines, and things of that nature, but that's not writing. You can find writing exercises that make you describe some lake from 4 different perspectives, but that's also not writing. You can even spend weeks reading books on how to write, and by doing all of this, give yourself this false notion that you are writing, but it isn't. You can trick yourself into thinking that you're improving as a writer by spending all of your time studying the craft. After all the hours spent on such activities, you may still be exactly where you started. The reason being, all of this is secondary, additional work to your core work. The core is the actual writing, your writing. No matter if it's good or bad, you must write your own writing. The easiest way to do this is either set a block of time which is dedicated to writing and nothing else, or assign yourself X number of words that need to be written each day and stay consistent with it. This makes up your core. After this is when you do the secondary work like reading books on writing, grammar, editing, biographies, and writing exercises that can be added to the routine. Stephen King said, "I like to get 10 pages a day, which amounts to 2,000 words. That's 180,000 words over a 3-month span, a goodish length for a book." But this is only accomplished because Stephen King is disciplined enough to sit down every day and write. No matter what happens, he gets his words in. Along with writing comes reading. Just as with writing, you have to assign yourself a certain number of pages to read or a block of time dedicated just to reading. You don't have to read with a purpose of studying fiction, but you must read. Stephen King said, "Reading is the creative center of a writer's life." What does a character do when he's in a heated argument? What creates an emotional connection with a character? How do you write a good battle scene? A good love scene? How can inner monologue flow? How do you incorporate symbolic meaning into text? Questions like these and many others have all been answered. You just have to pick up a book and see. A useful way to read is to read with attention. Take notes. Understand what the writer has included and what he or she has omitted. Pay attention to the words used and how they differ depending on the character. See how an emotional scene was set up or a violent one. Take note of the details that bring a scene to life and the lack of detail that makes it mundane. Watch how the character struggles internally or how the character acts externally. All books can be seen as textbooks for writing. One learns most clearly what not to do by reading bad prose. Good writing, on the other hand, teaches the learning writer about style, graceful narration, plot development, the creation of believable characters, and truth-telling. Although the advice is simple, write a lot and read a lot, the application of it must be done with commitment and attention. In that way, the simple advice is all you need to become a better writer. For the rest of the writing journey, you will learn innately, and those lessons are hard to forget. While no matter how many writing tips and lists you read, the lessons will eventually fade from your mind.